Today's Dallas Cowboys Report is made possible by Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping on all of their top-of-the-line men's grooming products when you head over to manscaped.com and you use promo code Cowboys at checkout. It is some winners and some losers from the Cowboys' Week 2 preseason win against the Chargers, and we begin with the most obvious winner of them all, KaVontae Turpin, who had not one, but two special teams touchdowns, a punt return, and a kick return. Unquestionably has locked himself into the Dallas Cowboys roster. You're all subscribed. You watched our post-game show. The praise of Turpin was effusive. He is no doubt the biggest winner from this game. But I'm going to challenge you guys to name a different Cowboys winner against the Chargers. I've got 7 more coming, but I want to hear from you guys first and foremost in the comments section. Let's go to defense. Israel Mukuamu, the defensive back who played both safety and got some at least sometime nickel corner / overhang defender reps for the Cowboys. I was impressed. Not perfect. He got beat a couple times as well, but 4 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and an INT. Mukuamu last year flashed repeatedly in the preseason, takeaways, big plays. That continued again against the Chargers. Jaron Kearse, a bit banged up, a minor back issue. Mukuamu is pushing hard for one of those last spots on the defense / special teams. I was impressed against LA. I think he helped himself significantly when it comes to making this 53-man roster. More defenders, Dante Fowler, the edge rusher, next up here. The stat sheet does not pop off to you. Tackle, a TFL. While Terrell Basham was jumping off sides again for the Cowboys, Fowler had one of the more impressive defensive stops of the entire night. He took on a tight end, pushed him so far into the backfield, the tight end actually made the tackle on the stop of a run play. Fowler offers, as we saw in the past, pass rushing value. Early in the preseason, I've been pretty damned impressed with his run stopping. That's going to help him make a not guaranteed spot for the Cowboys roster in 2022. Look, more defenders. Not planned, but that's how it's turning out so far. Trysten Hill, who we have bodied many a time. I'd argue correctly so here on the Cowboys Report. One of his more impressive games. 3 tackles, and perhaps the highlight of the night defensively. A fantastic sack, forced fumble, and fumble recovery all in one play. Got around the right guard, stretched that arm out, and knocked the football loose, then recovered it. Cowboys took over in fantastic positioning. Carlos Watkins, pretty quiet tonight. John Ridgeway, a bit of a splash late, but fairly quiet overall. Hill, at minimum, is providing some more trade value. I think he's pushing hard to make this 53-man roster in what is absolutely a make-or-break year for the former round 2 pick. The pinned comment on today's show: will Trysten Hill make the 53-man roster for the Dallas Cowboys? Get your predictions in right now at the pinned comment. Y for yes, N for no. If an ad break comes on YouTube, it's great timing. Head down there and type in your Y or your N. Let's talk running backs now. Malik Davis, and we'll group Rico Dowdle together, just like we ended up doing last week. Both players I have been very, very impressed by, in kind of a almost surprising fashion. I liked Rico Dowdle. He's been my pick for RB3 for a while. 13 carries, 44 yards, and 1 score, plus 8 yards through the air for Dowdle. Davis chipped in 6 yards to the air, plus 8 carries, 37 yards, and a score. Both players look like NFL backs. Davis looks a lot better than he ever did at Florida. I could absolutely see a scenario in which Dallas goes, you know what? We got to carry Dowdle and Davis. Although nobody wanted Davis coming out of the NFL draft, he might get picked up if you try to sneak him onto the practice squad. Today's show is made possible by our good friends over at Manscaped. Would I be a dad of 1? And would producer Brett be a dad of 3 without Manscaped? Probably not. 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code COWBOYS at manscaped.com. Gets you 20% off and the free shipping on all of their men's grooming products, including the best men's grooming trimmer out there. That is the Lawnmower 4.0. Not going to nick you. It's not going to cut you. It'll keep things looking a bit longer and nice and fresh downstairs. 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code COWBOYS. That promo code and the URL, manscaped.com, in the comments section and the description of today's show. More offense. How about quarterback Will Grier? When the ball comes off of his hand, it is simply better in almost every facet than what it is for Cooper Rush. Six completions out of 10. There were some throwaways in there. 98 yards as well for Grier. For an offense that didn't need to throw it at all, they had 18 attempts against 33 rushes. That's what happens when you're up 29-10 at the end of the first half. I was impressed by Grier. Cooper Rush convo coming up later on. Note on Ben DiNucci, 2 passes for 4 yards. He didn't do anything, neither a winner nor a loser. So pick a backup QB for me. WG for Will Grier, CR for Cooper Rush, or BD for Ben DiNucci. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comments section. From a pure talent perspective, it's Will Grier. The arm's better. Will Grier can do things that Cooper Rush simply cannot. It does require the Cowboys to trust Grier from a planning and prep perspective as a backup quarterback, however. We will keep you covered on the quarterback 2 battle and everything going on around America's team right here on the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe. Free videos every single day right here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. So if you haven't already, please hit that big red button and subscribe. There are winners. We've got one more coming up here, and then there are losers as well. By the way, that's just simply how life ends up working. A name you might not have heard much of is Mika Tafua, the undrafted free agent out of Utah. And although Sam Williams unquestionably freed up Tafua for one big-time play, he made a couple more in that game. Not a massive stat line, but a TFL, a sack, a pass breakup. That stuff matters when you are trying very, very hard to make a 53-man roster, or, more likely, a practice squad. Big Cap Bryant, some nice plays. Cowboys got some great depth at defensive end. It's losers time, and I think everyone watching knew Nahshon Wright was going to be on this list. And I don't feel good putting him on here, but I take notes throughout the game. My first note, Nahshon Wright, beat for 41 yards. Bad on the screen touchdown. Was in position and just like, oh no, you got by me. Make the play, my guy. A DPI as well. Did have one kind of sort of pass breakup on good coverage. Give him credit there. Some nice tackles. There is special teams value, but Nahshon Wright is fighting for a roster spot. Better than he was against Denver. It's not saying all that much in the end. 2 more losers coming up here momentarily. Name one for me in the comment section. You know, I could have put guys like Jalen Tolbert, Jake Ferguson, Tyler Smith on the winners category, but I want to focus on the losers right now. Drop a name for me in the comments section. Cooper Rush, next up here. We kind of tied this into the Will Grier conversation. Rush has been pretty underwhelming, and maybe it's the offense not trusting the offensive line, the play caller, and Kellen Moore. 3 of 6 for 32 yards, coming off a 12 of 20 game where he didn't throw it all downfield. Rush does not want to push the ball downfield. When he does, it's pretty underwhelming as well. I know he beat the Vikings. I'm still not sure how. But the physical limitations are very clear for Cooper Rush. That is a problem in terms of the upside he brings as a backup quarterback. One more loser. How about TJ Vasher? I was going through that. Who's our other loser? Did he even play? I'm of course filming this post game after the Cowboys-Chargers win. Was Vasher out there? Was he banged up? Did he not play at all? The Cowboys were up big late. They didn't have to throw the football at all. But Fehoko outplayed him. Brandon Smith outplayed him. Dontario Drummond got targets. Where was TJ Vasher? He is fighting for a roster spot. Fehoko and even Brandon Smith were clearly better. So what am I going to do with TJ Vasher in the end? I think as we sit near the end of August, one more preseason game to go, Vasher's not going to make this team. Practice squad? Sure. But he has not done anything in the preseason. And when you are fighting tooth and nail to make one of those last roster spots, you got to do better. We would be remiss if we did not mention the penalties because they've been the penalty boys this year. 8 penalties, 57 yards. It's better. It's a lot for a preseason game. And, by the way, there should have been a clipping on one of those Turpin touchdowns. It should have been called back. They didn't throw it, which is great. I want all of us, as members of Cowboys Nation, to bully the Cowboys into fewer flags in 2022. Step 1 is spamming flags for me in the comments section.